G'day Dan here. I just had a couple of thoughts, or I recorded a video earlier for those that want people out of their car recording. If that needs to be of importance, you'd stop your car and record it. I mean, I get maybe a little bit, but maybe some people get into flow. And yeah, so, and they live out of their car. So anyway, I'm just heading up to the mountain again, or a different mountain this time. I'm going to have a look at the ship's stern, suss out, there's a couple of walks I want to do, so if there's anyone that's keen for a bushwalk, maybe a camp out, there's definitely a couple of spots to camp out, but yeah, we can sort of get a little, maybe a bit of a festival going with the bushwalk, story festival with some yarns going. But anyway, got to pop back into town soon, but wanted to sort of come out here and share my energy and connect as well myself. Get the energy of some of these old ancient trees that they seem to want to be mining all the minerals from, as part of their manipulation and creation of an artificial energetic layer to try and manipulate you and keep you enslaved. So there's some things, you know, to be mindful of, and there's good thing, a lot of truths coming out to protect children. The Queensland Police Service, QPS, which is, I was watching something yesterday about the symbolism within their logos, emblems, which is crazy. But they've misplaced 16,000 records for child safety services, conveniently. Convenient for the timing too, with all these truths coming out. But as I said in the last video, it's great to see all the matriarchs standing up. Maybe it's my feed, I like the Black Mirror feed, but you know, I'm seeming to mostly see matriarchs, women, the elderly women, standing up and speaking on these topics. Not as many elders with the men. But anyway, and that was a thought I had in terms of no one's out there to not turn their back, to speak on certain things that need to be spoke on now. You know that with that alignment, and to help create the change that we all want to see and should want to see, where definitely, you know, people as they exist, their energies not being harvested and collected and not being themselves, and definitely when and not being hunted or when they're dead for skull and bones and blood and that crazy stuff that those that maybe buggered up in the past timelines that can't create now have used our energies to create, manifest and manipulate, really. So, and I said in the other video that a lot of it comes down to that satire or parlor, like the parliament. Those two sides, they're controlled from, like it's all just a control mechanism. But the individual and that sovereignty for self, and which comes back to a very simple formula actually, is got to do with that heart coherence. And you know, that links to that authenticity. And yeah, being out of balance as you transmute certain energies and thoughts and things that you know, just got to be aware that people are receivers, and if they too asleep, then they're going to be very robotic and be able to be like a device that can be programmed. And so you might think you're talking, to someone that you used to know, but maybe over time through certain actions and things they've done, or just covenants, agreements, and just not being sovereign in their own being too much of a follow-up. Everything in balance. Like, I realise I've had to have some darkness in me to deal with some of the people, and be shut off to some certain extent, and then realise, I don't need to react to certain circumstances when you have a knowing and a truth inside yourself, and that usually those words being spoken in that story, people are just actually being a parrot and a mirror to their own self. They're speaking to themselves. So why would you react? Why would you interrupt someone that's fucking talking to themselves? It's rude. So if you think about it like that, and then another thing like Listel was teaching me, one of the matriarchal elders, about how it works in the, tribal groups and whatnot and something. For me, I've been putting into practice and really honing in on. And that is when you're asking questions, I think it's important for the asking of questions to yourself, but ask it 5 times before you ask someone else. So, because typically that answer can be within when you're sovereign and you're in line with your authentic and a path that the answers will sort of just flow and come. It's an attraction thing. But there needs to be knowing, needs to be pragmaticness, needs to be balanced, need to be able to work through some of the times where, it might be a wave of energy depending on the season that whacks things off course. And you need to bring it back on course, but sometimes you just can be silent and let that time pass and identify those areas and just contemplate, think, and just continue to exist being, and just look at what any ascended master is, sort of with that presence and being kind to others and kin, and do one to thyself, you wouldn't do to one another, or whatever it is. So times are changing, long story short, and this corporatism, this materialism, all these isms, colonialism, capture, you're in prisms, in these frequency prisons. So these patterns, we've all got responsibility to reverse some of the spells that have been cast, because that's what's occurred with words. Don't forget where paper comes from. It comes from nature and spirit and trees. And there's been magic done there. There's been people's souls trapped in magic based on your birth certificate and other registrations, and then applications you got to do to be, you're begging for these things. So very simply, the next phase is we'll be doing the biggest ask campaign the world's ever seen, where we just switch over. We'll create our own ledgers. You have your own headquarters and banks in your own community. We don't have to get too crazy with ledgers and for the transactions and the value, but there will be critical parts to that. So there's transparent systems. It has to be, but we all have that responsibility to keep the relationship at heart as part of this getting things done and keeping people human, because if this earth continues to get things extracted out of it through the mining and the materials, and then energies manipulate all that stuff, like I feel for the people that end up staying here, or or the ones that get sent away when their heart is weighed. So, based on the sins that have occurred. So that, don't forget the etymology of the sin is missing the mark. So I get that with CERN and antimatter and things they've done playing with portals and energies that have been let, you know, that manipulation, that darkness has tried to connect to certain people, it has, and then the thoughts aren't yours, possessed. That's where we get away from this possession stuff with the corporate agenda, and you know, and actually get to know that maybe sometimes it's the opposites, like all these trusts that have been set up that own all these certain things. It's not